Alrighty, what's up, guys? So back with another one. Yes, I just got back from Evo last night. Not even 24 hours. Still a little bit jet lag, but we got to talk about it. You already know what I'm going to say. But before getting into it, I have no new info, okay? So don't watch this if you think I got any like behind-the-scenes stuff. But I figured, come on. We got to make a video about this. But yes, just at Evo, I don't even know, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? I don't know because of time zones. But yes, we have a new, after 10 years, we have a new character in BlazBlue. Trinity Glassfield. With new art by Mori himself. But yeah, this is crazy, dude. So I was on the plane. I got to Tokyo to where'd I go? Tokyo to LA and then LA to Vegas. So on the flight from LA to Vegas, I go in airplane mode. I get off the plane. I turn off airplane mode and I start getting all like ping, 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 ping. People like guy, man, like, yo, new character just announced for BlazBlue. I was like, shut the hell up. Like, I was like, shut up. Just shut up. There's no way. So like I checked, I clicked the links. I was like, holy crap, it's real. Just in the span of just like 24, 48 hours, there was an announcement of a character. We have the new character here. So I will watch the trailer and then I will just talk about what maybe I'm expecting and what I want to see. So a lot of rambling like usual. Leo's excited. I'm excited. Hit that sub button. Of course, we're going to cover all the other BlazBlue matches and other videos. But for now, let's just talk about this. All right, let's just watch it again. In case you missed it, I'm sure you've already seen it already if you're a BlazBlue fan. But I was here. I was front and center in the audience. Had a couple white claws in me. I was cheering during the top 8. People said they heard me in the crowd. I was like, uh-oh. But yeah, there's not really a lot in this. It was a nice little throwback. Right? I love how they just went through the history. This is what really got me, honestly. Like, this is what hit me during watching this, was just like, damn, it's been a long time. We're all still here. Like, that's kind of the cool thing about Evo is, like, I'm meeting people that I met through BlazBlue during this. When it was Galileo vs. Dogra, which is what? 11 plus years ago now? It's like the people I was there with back then were now in the crowd with me now watching this, and like that moment kind of hit. I was like, damn, this is awesome. I wish they showed some other clips though. I like watching Gaimem get destroyed right there. There's a couple clips of Gaimem getting his ass beat, which is pretty hype, but I wish they showed like some Arc World Tour stuff from Japan. But still, at this moment, everyone's like, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Congrats, Excal. That was 2017, right? That's the first time Fenrich lost. But now we're getting hype. You can tell it's winding down. You saw a little hint right there. You see they sneaked the bell in here too. Right there. You saw how they kind of zoomed in on the bell. There she is. It's Trinity. Oh my God. Only like the 100 people in the crowd who knows who it is got excited. But we made enough noise. That was good. Right? Since this is not like a guest character, or this is not like a returning character or anything, the only people who really know who Trinity is are the ones that are like deep into the BlazBlue, lore or like the game itself. So that's not everybody in the audience, but still, I got super hyped. Everybody got excited. And then we get the photo, we get the ping. Now we want to hear a voice. We want to see some in-game footage. We want to see release date. We want to see any sort of announcement. Fade to white. It ended. It ended a little bit short. So that's what I said at the start of the video. I don't really have any extra info. Like, I don't have any, like, secret behind the scene stuff. But they didn't really give us much. But that's not important. That's not important. The fact that they acknowledged BlazBlue for the first time in years, man. It's been like, what, Fresh Prince? Like, why don't he want me, man? That's how it felt. They've been like, yo, what was it? Arc's 25 year. Just like all their games, they cut off BlazBlue, right? They haven't really been acknowledging it. We got out of nowhere. New character. This trailer too, like that's a brand new trailer, right? They went through the effort making a brand new trailer. They got all the clips, they got everything. So we've been seen, we've been acknowledged. And now, what does that mean? Now I tweeted about this, and before I say it, I do not want to sound I'm happy. Yes, I'm happy. I do not want to sound like I'm being a super doomer or negative, but I'm nervous. I'm just a little bit nervous. So we don't know what this means. We don't know what this trailer means. Like, are they just going to drop a new character and call it a day? That seems unlikely, honestly, right? That seems kind of strange, seems unlikely. I would assume that there is going to be balance changes coming in, a new version. It could even be like, they could do like a whole overhaul, like a Revelator type thing. But whatever they do, I don't want them to ruin BlazBlue. That's my only concern, right? So is BBCF perfect? Absolutely not. There's no such thing as a perfect fighting game. But this is, to me, is as good as it gets in the current, the current environment. It feels like the last I don't want to say the last good game, but the last game from that era, you know, the 2010s, when I feel like there was a perfect balance of fighting games that were accessible, easy enough to pick up, but also still very serious, you know, still very, you know, they were made for players. They weren't made to try and attract, you know, a new audience of anybody can be a winner, anybody can be an Evo champ, right? This game rewards dedication, it rewards effort, it rewards execution, rewards studying, character loyalty, all that good stuff. It's a great balance, which is why not just me, why so many people still play it 10 years later. Why you have Zoomers that with the netplay patch are all over it, and they're saying, like, yo, this game is really good. How come other games aren't like this anymore? I just don't want them to put out a new patch, a new version, and then bring that kind of modern fighting game developer mentality to it. That kind of like, hey, what if we made it easy so that everybody can participate? What if we added, you know, rev blow or like a heat system, or let's put in like drive rushing and throw loops and stuff like that. And then they ruined, to me, the best game ever. Because, you know, if they put out a new patch, that's what we'd have to play, right? We can't be doing like, all right, we're going to run 2 BlazBlue tournaments, like 2.0 and then 3.0. We'd all have to play whatever the new one is, right? Please. Whatever happens, that's not what I want. Please, I'm begging you. Now, what I'd love to see is, you know, new character. If they do a new balance patch, you know, I'm fine with that too. I'm not saying that, like, you just leave the game the way it is, but just keep it to character changes, please, right? So even in this version, right, it was a 1.1 to 2.0. They did a character balance patch. They nerfed some of the top tiers, although they're still top tier, and they buffed some of the lower tier. So something like that, you know, they could refine the balance a bit more. You know, obviously we have almost 10 years of data, so you know what's strong, you know what's weak. Just don't go too crazy. That's all I ask, right? What I want the most, though, so when I was thinking about it and the fact that Arxis is acknowledging it again, I think the thing I want most out of this, aside, you know, we got the hype, I wish we could bring back BlazBlue in the Arc World Tour or a similar tour system. Now, I'm not saying we need, you know, $1 million prizes. I'm not saying we need the Saudi Arabia, you know, $3.5 million prize pool, but just something to motivate players to travel and compete again. So this Evo was so special to me because the Japanese players showed up. Players that had never been to Evo before, players that we know were really strong from back in the day. This was their first time coming to the States, facing off against the new generation of players. So, like, we saw history being made because the game was featured at Evo. If it wasn't featured at Evo, that would not have happened. We wouldn't have had all this storyline, all this build-up. And I think that's the benefit to tours. You know, I'm anti pro gamer. I'm not telling these kids you should aim to be a pro gamer. You know, you should become a pro BlazBlue player. But I think just having a tour motivates people to, you know, I wasn't planning to go, but hey, why not? Let me go out there. Let me attend. Let me see what's up. And that leads to so many new, you know, storylines, matchups. We learn all about the game. We give, you know, a spotlight on new people. It's awesome. I love tours. So that's what I want the most. I think that's what I want the most. You might disagree, but for me, anything to get BlazBlue back in the spotlight without adding rev blow, that's a dub for me. I saw a lot of people saying they want like English dub or like rollback on PS5 and like, you know, cross, but like that's all cool stuff. That's all cool stuff. I wouldn't get my hopes up. I feel like that's a lot. I don't know. It's a lot of dev time and everything, but whatever they do, as long as they don't mess up the game, I'm happy. Also, I want to give a shout out. This is again all my theory crafting, my headcanon. I think all of this is, you know, the scene is great. You know, shout outs to everyone who's streaming, you know, making YouTube videos, running netplay tournaments. Like, you guys are great. But I think this is because of Entropy Effect, dude. That's my theory. So Entropy Effect is the roguelike game. I covered it a couple years ago, and then it released, and it sold over like 1 million copies. Like the best-selling BlazBlue game of all time. Not even an official Arxis title, right? It sold so much that Arxis was like, oh, hold up. So Arxis like officially like, all right, we're bringing you under. They got the actual, I think Ozawa, he was like the scenario writer for Entropy Effect, is also like in charge of this new BlazBlue. So I think like Entropy Effect was such a big success. It showed them, you know, this IP is still huge. People love BlazBlue. They're like, you know what? Let's toss a bone back to the game. So Trinity's announced for this game. It seems like Trinity is going to be announced for Entropy Effect as well. But just shout outs to the Entropy Effect team, dude. It's a small company in Taiwan. They released the game. They laid off all their staff. The game blew up. They rehired all the staff. It led to a new update in this. What is this timeline, man? This is I can't believe it. But anyway, we all win in the end. But yes, that's it for this one. Of course, whenever we have more information or we have an actual update or timeline, footage, whatever, I will be right there with all the other BlizBlue fans covering it. But for this video, that's it. I'm happy. You're happy. Just I'm a little nervous. Please, fingers crossed, don't ruin the last good fighting game in existence. Now, I think I mentioned at the start of the video, but we have a ton of great footage from Evo, Vegas. So I'm going to be covering all those great matches. You know, Fenrich lost. Susanoo's the world champ right now. Excal's been defeated. Rascal Bullet doing all sorts of damage. Bobby getting annihilated, but we'll cover that in another video. So if you want to see more BlazBlue, hit the sub button if you're not already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.